All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this morning I'm doing an ad hoc test of the beta playthrough of Elemencers. Now, this is not a scheduled stream, and it will be in two parts. I'm going to do a different streamed part for each round of the game, which is 2 rounds. So I'll stream both back to back. I'm just going to cut the feed after the first round. That way there's smaller uploads that people can enjoy, as well as get up to onto YouTube as well. The background music is from someone that I took from YouTube that's streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. If interested, I do not own the copyrights to this music. But I can say that it is an awesome game, and it is one of the games that I commonly, as you know, stream on Twitch. So definitely check it out. It's pretty awesome. So before I get started, I'm just going to check the Twitch sound, and I'll get right with you. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, cool. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to do, like I said, play through the game, but at the end and beginning of each session, I'll check the Twitch feed, see if you guys have any questions, comments, or observations. So here we go. So this is starting from after the game has already been set up, but have not begun the beginning of round 1 yet. So let's still the setup for the round. Ready. Let's get into it. So the first step, and the reason why I'm doing this, I'll say, is not only to see how long the game goes on for each round, but then I can also replay different sections to see what happened, what transpired, and any small tweaks as necessary. Alright, so at the beginning of round 1, place 1 matching power token and avatar each starting location, which I've already done. You see an avatar, you see a standing cube on every starting location, which are the ends of the spokes of the snowflake. And then all players start with Saga card number 1. So now I have to give every player Saga card 1, which is, if you see here, this guy here. And so I need to give every light faction an L1 and every dark faction clan a D1. And for example, the cards look like this. All right. So it's already been shuffled. I just got to hand out appropriately and cycle through as appropriate. So we got one for you. One for you. One for you. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so now everyone has a Saga card. Now, next up is the activate phase. Reset available power tokens of the player board. We're starting. Reset just means put all the tokens back where they should start at the beginning of a round. And then the power tokens is a round number plus 2. So we're in round 1. That's why everyone has 3. So they have their supply at the top and how many they can activate at the bottom. And everybody has 3. Draw 2 creature cards and place its card tokens on the player board. Alright, so everybody now gets 2 creature cards, and then I fish out the tokens for everybody. Which I have to say, that part I did screw up because I didn't get out the tokens in advance. That way you could just easily look at each clan's tokens and fish out the 2 creatures traits that you need. So that's going to be a little bit of a time suck, but bear with me and I'll try to do as fast as possible. So the first thing I'll do though is get the cards for everybody. Let me see if I need to update the pick. Let's actually back up a little bit. 1 sec. So you guys can see more. Okay. So everybody gets 2. Umbra gets a Wraith and a Skeleton. Selam gets a Celestial Mancer and a Chimera. Necro gets a Skeleton and a Banshee. Anima. And again, this is what you do at the beginning of the round. There's only 2 rounds in the game, but you'll take many turns based on equal to the number of power tokens you have at the bottom per round. So round 1, everyone will take 3 turns, and round 2, everybody will take 4 turns. Anima gets a Squire and a Lycan. The Squire looks like a squirrel. I'll show you that in a second. It's pretty cool. Cryo gets a Blightworm and an Elemancer. And finally, Ignis will start with a Fire Elemental and another Fire Elemental, actually. Both variants of the same Fire Elemental, so that's pretty cool. So I'll show you a couple cool picks right quick. I'll show you the Fire Elemental, the Squire, and something cool from Dark Faction. Show you the... something I haven't shown you last time. Show you the Banshee. It's one of my faves. Just so you can look what the creature cards look like. So here is a Fire Elemental. You see the trait there means Bulwark. Here is the Squire. And the symbol there means it's a warrior. And last example is the Banshee, with the symbol there meaning it has Fade ability. Fade trait. All right. All right, so just bear with me for a sec. I'm going to get the creature tokens out, which that's the one thing that I missed to prep before starting the game. Getting actually all the creature tokens out and set. That way it's easy to pull out what you need for each clan. So, uno momento. And you can see setup different from the beta release I did a couple days ago is, you see here a Bronzu. He's stuck in the Hollow of Fate with shield in, so, you know, when he's trying to get out. All right, so this is good. And again, this is one reason why I'm doing this is now I can time how long I spend on this creature token step to see how long it takes, as well as not include it in the total time for this round, because it's something you do outside. Easier to track how long everything takes. We're doing metrics. Because the goal for this game, I'll just talk while I'm fishing out the stuff, is 2 to 3 hours. But what I mean by that is I want the game to take 2.5 hours. So if people are just really fast, it could go less than 2.5. And if people have analysis paralysis, it could go 3 hours. But so that's really the sweet spot. I want it to be like the length of a movie, how long the game takes. And if you're signed up for Big Bad Con, that's happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will be demoing Elemancers. And you'll notice on that block of time that I had reserved it for 4 hours, and that just so there's a cushion, so we don't get kicked out of our spot. That way I have time to set up the game, time to teach the game, as well as playing the game, which may go a little bit slower because people are asking questions on what to do. And so that's why it's at reserved 4 hours. You figure if it's max a 3-hour game, 30-minute setup takedown, and then 30 minutes explaining how to play the game. So if you see the game and you want to play and you're like, oh god, it's 4 hours. No, the table's just reserved for 4 hours. The game is going to take realistically 3 hours to play. And the game also doesn't always go the same length, and also because if someone satisfies a win condition expediently in round 2, the game can immediately end, actually. So if if a faction gets all of their legendary weapons and just guns for the Hall of Fate, that could be an instant win. And that's one of the reasons why you don't necessarily want to let the opponent just run amok and do what they want. Because in this game, there is the possibility that factions could do what I call the Warsong Gulch strategy, like in World of Warcraft, that both factions just sort of do what they want to do as fast as possible to try to beat everybody else. But that's also really dangerous, because you're assuming that by the chance of where you go, that you'll do it first. Alright, I'm about halfway done with the sorting, and then the actual step will just be, hey, when you have your 2 stacks for each clan, just pull out each creature trait you're looking for. That's how to make it easy. It's kind of like if you ever played a Small World, how all of the different creatures are sorted into those different containers, and you just pull out the creatures that you need from there. And it's sort of the same idea. So each clan just pulls out what they need. But right now, all of the clan stuff is mixed together, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So when you're playing the game, this part of the setup is definitely not part of that time suck. And the other thing I could also do for the highlight for this is also edit out this little setup piece too. So if you're catching this during the highlight or on YouTube, you won't see this, and actually everything I'm going to explain right now, you won't even hear. So there you go. All right, almost done. Okay. Just missing one. Dragon head. I mean, don't you hate it when you just lose a dragon head? I mean, that would not make a Hydra happy. Of course, a Hydra is not a dragon, but... It's like, where is it? Okay, cool. All right, those are the legendary dragon tokens. I give everybody the stiff. For the sake of the fact that I'm just soloing, showing you an example how the game plays, I'm just gonna put all the tokens near me so it's easy to reach. And that's actually the point of the supply board, and that's why I didn't have a dedicated space for stuff for the supply, just the zones, as in light faction, dark faction, white or black, just because you may change how you put the supplies based on what's most convenient for you, or based on where players are sitting, for example. But everything in the supply is not stuff that players readily need access to, and that's why it's not on the player board. But this way, you just sort of utilize space also. Dead space on the board. You're like, well, I'd have more space if I didn't do a board instead of the tiles for the game board play area. That's true. But from testing, and you probably know this too if you've played games with tiles, like Twilight Imperium or Catan or something like that, is it also kind of sucks, because if you have a lot of tiles, the more tiles you have, or pieces that you play with, the greater chance of human error. And as I'm sure you know, if you knock one of those tiles, then all of them gets knocked, and then it looks very displeasing, or stuff gets scooted around where it shouldn't be. So this way, it's a cleaner look. In addition, because these tiles are on a player board, you actually don't have to set up the tiles. You just unfold the board and good to go. So it's faster setup. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm also considering either as probably as a stretch goal, or just how the tokens are stored in the player board by actually having it segmented like Small World. That way, you're just like, oh, here's the orange player stuff. Oh, here's the pink player stuff. That way, at all times, it's contained pretty well. And it's most likely what I'll do. I haven't designed yet the final look of the player board and containers thereof. All right, cool. So starting now, break, 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 break. We'll get into giving everyone their stuff. All right, let's do it. So I need purple butterfly and castle. And so I just go into these two piles and just fish out the 3 butterflies and 3 castles, which you can do relatively quick since you know where the stuff is. And that is the idea. Boom. And then these get placed on top of each creature. Alright, the creature card, I should say. Next, I need pink butterfly and wand. That's not what they're called, that's just the look. So I can do it quickly. You know what image to look for. Alright, got those. You can see how fast I did it. And you also consider, like, I'm doing this by myself, but if all players do this at the same time, you see I'm already done. So it's not something that takes long at all if you just have the stacks even in 2 piles in front of every player. They can do it themselves, boom, boom. It takes all 10-15 seconds to fish them out. Next, I need green, armor, and eyes. And that's also something to consider while I'm doing this, is I can gauge, well, the game's going to go a little bit faster than when I play because you'll have people doing this themselves. Or thinking about their turn during their turn, sort of thing. Alright, we got eyes and armor. Now to the other side, I need gold, armor, and grave. This is cool because I'm getting a pretty good spread on the different types of creature traits. which just makes it fun because you kind of have everything in play, which you have to account for and assess, and that's the idea. The odds of you having at least one of each type in play at the same time is incredibly high because you have 2 times 6, 12 different chances to have that. I need blue portal wand. And again, how long it took me just to do one of these is how long it would take to do all of them because all the players do their own. Just have each player look in their stack for the stuff. Which in 2 small stacks, it was a technique like I got from other games, like for example, Bears vs. Babies. The fact that they had 2 stacks, but you really don't need 2 stacks. That's just so it's easier to manhandle. Even though in that game they also have a mechanic when a stack is depleted, one of them, the game ends. So, but this makes it easier to negotiate. And then orange, eyes, and castle. But again, like this supply space is just space. Like it's whatever works best. If it works best to have all the tokens together, all the dice together, all the car and standees together, like I've done here, great. Because that means then you have remaining free space that players can use to roll the dice. And that's the whole idea, is that you have a sturdy games place for all of your game shit, is the idea. So that you don't have to roll on the table or find an additional space. You can just use what you got. And it's actually preferred to play your cards and roll your dice here, because that way all the players can see it too. So that is the idea. Oop, I'm missing an eye. Where's my other eyes? I need those hungry eyes. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so the next step is draw 2 creature cards and place its card tokens on player board, which you just did. If the 4th creature card drawn placed on top of creature deck, that's something that we'll encounter round 2. But for round 1, we still have enough space because you have 3 spaces and then your deck, and you use the deck as the final 4th space, as this indicates. Obtain 1 battle card from the top of the deck, so everyone now gets 1 battle card. So you just take from the deck and place it on the space below. That way players know if you have battle cards. So I'm just taking 1 from each and putting it on the bottom area on the player board. Like so. Next, roll to determine first player each round and follow order. For the purpose of this, for expediency, I'm just going to follow the turn order and always start with Umbra, just to do it fast. And this is the turn order here, which I will show you. If you look at the round activate phase, it's Umbra, Sealum, Necro, Anima, Cryo, Ignis. And that's the same order that I have the player boards left to right to just make it easier and do it quickly since I'm doing this by myself. All right. And in the future, probably at the end of this month, I will be posting the PDF for the game so you can see the rules for the game, how it's played. But you will be able to extrapolate that this evening. All right, so I'm going to go up so you can see more shit. Just so you can see the player boards as well as the game. But you know, we'll see how it goes. I'll adjust as needed. All right. I'm just gonna get a little bit of sippy cup and we'll get started. And so what I'll do is I'll narrate what I do as I play. And I'll just play cards. What I'm testing right now isn't necessarily the strategy of team play. It's how long the game takes for different actions. And that everything feels right with the use of the player space and the player board and the game board, and everything jives together. Because they jived independently. This is like, you know, go and get all the parts. You have all the parts, make a well-oiled machine. All right, so let's do this. So the first move is the Umbral player. So where we're trying to go? We're trying to go to Lycana, which is here, which I'm really close, and I can move 3 spaces. So, but what action am I going to do? And also for the purpose of this game, normally battle cards and saga cards are face down, so players can't see. But because I'm just doing a test playthrough, I'm going to have them face up so I can quickly reference. Just because it's a lot of information for me. So you know. Alright, so I have Scythe of Terror. I need to get dudes on the board, so I'm going to do that first. And I want to go skeletons. Because I want to save my wraiths so that I can, well, yeah, because I don't need to react just yet. So they get summoned here. So I spent my power token, 9 need to move. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I want to get other shadows while I have the opportunity, but stay relatively close in case I get attacked. So I think I'll just take 1 for the purposes of this. So I instantly get this guy, and I complete stage 1. So I put this to the bottom, and now I go for D2, which is this one, and then advance this to D2, like so. All right, and then am I going to attack? There's no way to attack, so that's end of the turn. Next up is Sealon. We're going to do a similar maneuver, most likely. I have Nimble and Elemancer. Elemancer is really powerful. Where are we going to go? We're trying to get to the Enchanted Forest, which is here. So let's activate some Celestial Mancers. And then we're going to move here. We are danger close, so I definitely want to augment. And I do want to take a space also, but I kind of just took one, and I want to have an advantage in combat, so I think I'll do this. Okay. And what the power tokens mean is that means that the matching clan can now summon from there, just like you do their starting locations. And that's also what you use to tally, in a sense, victory points at the end of the game, is how many power tokens does your faction have on the board that you're fighting for, besides trying to fight to be the first to get to the Hall of Fate. Alright, so that's it for that clan. Next up is Necro. We have Skeletons and Banshees. Fading's a very interesting ability right now, just because there's limited creatures on the board, so you could get away with Fade attacks. So you could be very offensive, actually. And I think that's what I'm going to try to do, because the yellow player doesn't have any banishing, so we can take advantage of that. Which basically gives a creature the ability to be like a rogue. The fact that you can do your battle dice, but avoid all hits. So it's advantageous since there's no banishers. The only banisher right now is It's not Havium, but if I stay on this side, I'm too far away for her. So it's definitely the move to do. Oh, and actually I forgot to update her. She found the Enchanted Forest. So now she's on L2. Let me find an L2. Okay. And she proceeds to the second lore. Alright, so we are definitely going to do fades. And then we're trying to get to the Abyss, which is just out of range to get there in one turn. But I definitely want to attack while I have the ability to, because I can get away with it. So what I'm going to do is meander this way, but since I can't make it, I'll go here. Just that way I can get a token. I'll have just one reinforcement, and I want to try to punch over here. So I'll go all the way over here, and I'll take this one too. Like so. Alright, so she's still at lore card 1. Next up is Anima. Anima, I have Eternal and Warrior. So, similar notion, the fact that I got Eternals and there's no enemy banishers close could get away with using it offensively. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, I'll activate the Lycan. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the Lycan and look at Citroni. The Lycan's over here. So she has danger close. We're not going to do that. What are we going to do? He's trying to get to Nemra, which is here, which is too far away. And I want to try to help this dude out here. So I think what I'm going to do, and again, Nemra is here. So I think what I want to do is potentially blow shit up and attack here, steal that, and still be within range. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because of that, I think instead I'll go Squires. Alright, so what we're going to do is Nemra's out of range, but if I go here, I can still go 1, 2, 3 and still make it. So I'm going to move here. I want to at least get one just to take, so I think I'll put one here. That way you have to, because you can use them as staging grounds, so you really, and as well as points end the game. Oop, did I miss one in green? No, green's there. So the power tokens for reference should go in toward the center of the board, just so people can easily see there's one there. Okay, so this will also be our first battle, because in order to take a location, all you have to do with the magic color is just move there, but to remove it, there has to be no enemy creatures there. So it's easy to take as long as it matches, but it's actually hard to take away. So this would definitely be advantageous, because then that means the Umbra player, Ismortah, won't be able to stage here. So he'll have limited places where he can go. So we're definitely going to do that. So we're going to battle. So it's 3v2. So you have 3 gold. Oh, no, it's 3v1 and 1 Umbra. So 3v1. My character can re-roll the enemy's die, and then the enemy can reduce one of my attacking rolls by one tick. Let's see. I can use Soul Resurrection to prevent a hit on one of my creatures, which I may do in battle. Whereas the opponents, right now doesn't have a warrior or avatar, so can't use their card. So definitely high advantage in this battle. Alright, so everything above a 4 is a hit. Where's my water? Okay, up here. Alright, so everything above a 4 is a hit. So I have 3 misses right now, and the enemy has a hit. So I definitely want to, and let's see, what is the warrior again? The warrior, re-roll one of opponent's battle dice in battle. In addition, you know, the avatar also has his own ability, which is nimble, meaning he can react to a battle. So in other words, like I could have had him be here and attack during the battle and go back, but I wanted him to have defenders in case I get attacked before his next turn. That's why I did that. But it's cool because that means these creatures in future battles can react to battles as well because they also get nimble because they're at the same location as the avatar. So right now this is actually, wow, pretty bad. All misses and I'll get 1 hit. And I don't have a way to re-roll. So unfortunately that's a dud. He gets a hit. I can re-roll this to see if I can't. I can re-roll this twice to see if I can't avoid doing Soul Resurrection and save that for later. Cool. So there's no hits in battle, and the battle resolves. Actually, you know what? Since we're rolling dice here, I'll just keep the dice close over there, which is honestly where they're supposed to be. Cool. So you see, like, the player board has a lot of great space for all this shit. You can have a place for rolling dice, multiple areas, like in both sides of the white and black game board, and place to play cards, and place for storing your legendary shit, and then your creature token shit. Whatever works best, which is cool, and that's the whole point. Alright, so that's it for Anima. Now it's Cryo. Cryo is trying to go to Scorched Wastes, which is here. Unfortunately, I didn't take this power token, so it still remains. Which means he could summon their Umbra player. So what? Due to the lack of banishing shit, I may want to bring out Banishers, or maybe not yet. I don't think I want to do Banisher just yet. I think I'll save that build, because there's nothing really to banish except way over here. So I'm gonna hold on. I won't do that just yet. So I'll just put out some Elemancer dudes, some Icemancers. And then try and get Scorched Wastes, which is right here. It's a little too far, but can get there next turn. So I want to get to an ice, so I might as well be safe unless I want to try to attack. Right now it is a little dangerous. So I think I'll move here, double up, and then just take one of these. As you see, it's not always a sure thing for someone to take out your power token, so it's worthwhile to do it, because then someone has to waste shit just trying to remove it. But if they're successful, it's great, because that means you have 1 less victory point potentially, and 1 less place you could stage from when you're summoning creatures, but it's the name of the game. Alright, so that's it for Cryo. Next up is Ignis. Ignis is trying to get to Hecatros, which is here. So again, it's a little far away, but I want to get en route. And I have a couple advantageous options, like here or here. Or I could try to take this out. I do have Fades, but see, I can't take them out because they can hide from battle. So I need to get a Banisher down here, actually. Need. And unfortunately, the only Banishers right now is Snahavium and Karoo. So this could be a huge problem, because that means he can keep getting free hits. So I definitely want to be near shit. But fortunately, what I could do is match his offense with my offense. Because if I put down fades also, the opponent has to target creatures before the avatar, but they can target any creatures they want in any order. But if I have them, well, that's true. If I have them hide from battle, then I'll be a primary target. So actually, that would not work. So instead, I'll do. I will do some bulwarks, some fire elementals, spect bulwark. And I'm trying to get the Hecatros, so I'll move this way to try to get help from Snahavium over there. Bring 2 dudes. And you don't have to defend your starting location because the enemy actually can't take your starting location at all during the entire game. The only way you lose the power token at your starting location ever is from Bronzu. Because she doesn't just disrupt location so that you can't draw power from it. She permanently takes the power from that location. Alright, so I think I'm going to triple up, actually. Just play it safe. And get a token. Cool, so that's it for the first turn of round 1. Now we have 2 more turns. And as you see, there were only 2 clans that completed their first saga that first turn. So, it's a high likelihood you can, but you can't always get away with it. As you see illustrated here. Just going to change the music up 1 sec. Okay, fine, I'll keep it on this one. This is Leo and Luna theme. I don't know if you can hear it. If you can't, it's probably advantageous. That way it's not a problem. But it's a good song. Okay, so we're back to... And again, like, when you start any round, it's random who goes first. But once you determine who goes first, you then follow the same order. So we're back... So for purposes of this demonstration, we'll just keep going round, round, round. This way. Alright, so we have Ismo and Hismo. He is trying to get to the Frigid Wastes, which is over where Klingeth is, the blue gargoyle. So definitely want to move there. And one of the reasons why you never want to max out what you deploy, like for example here with Snahavium, is even though you can only have 4 creatures of any faction at any location at one time. You can move through it, but you can only have 4 stop there. So if I actually had another token there, it would block me from taking that location, which would be really bad. It'd waste a turn. So it's like you want to have some protection to help protect your avatar, but you don't want to have too many because then you can't even move to that location. Alright, so, but what do I want to do? The fact that I want to be offensive, I think I'm go ahead and get out the Wraiths, which have the Nimble ability. So you can have 4 creatures at any one location, only, max, per faction. And at any location, you can only have 3 creatures. You can only roll 3 battle die. So even though you could have 4 creatures, you can't have 4 battle die. So that mechanic is kind of similar to Star Wars Rebellion. You can have as much shit as you want, but only a certain number of battle dice can be involved in combat at one time. So we have power token here, so we can deploy stuff up to 3 here, or actually up to 4 here. So, but actually I think I want to try to actually, since we have 3 avatars surrounding this guy, to actually try to kill him. So I'm gonna put them all here to attack. And actually, they can react. So actually, I could do some more tricksy shit, actually. For example, like if I put it here, then I can react to any battle anywhere. That's probably what I'm going to do. So I'll put 3 here. That way they can react to any battle. So what I'll do is I'll deploy them here, which I believe I've paid for already. Okay. And then I can move. So I'll move 3 here, move Ismo here, and then move these 2 up just to engage, just to go for it. Actually, I'll give here 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Actually, you know what? I'll put 3 here. This way these guys can react to any battle at any one of these locations. I didn't want to go here because then they'll block him from summoning more shit there. Alright, so we'll do that. So I didn't get any more places, but now I've completed another saga. So I turn this in, and now I gun for D3, which is Felinar, and advance the deck to number 3. And now we're going to commence a battle. So we're going to attack Gorak. So I can only roll 3 battle die, but Nimble can react to a battle. So I can, I can react even though they can't be involved, in case he does stuff. And what you do with Nimble is you put them in between to show that they're reacting to a battle, because then they go back afterwards. That way you know where they came from. Alright, so it's 4 versus 3. So, but it's, like I said, it's max 3 dice, so it's 3v3. Umbra player can't play any cards, but you know Gorak still has Soul Resurrection, so let's go. Alright, so right now we have 2 hits potentially and no hits. So the attacker can make -1, -1, -1, but it's all misses. But Gorak can make it so that I have to re-roll twice. So re-roll this one first. Re-roll it again. Alright, so now it's 1 hit only. And because of that, Gorak will use Soul Resurrection. Golden Energy rescues the soul and infuses the body with a Radiant Spirit. If you have an avatar in battle, prevent 1 hit to one of your creatures in battle. Play after your creature is defeated may not prevent a hit on an avatar. So it's like the avatar resurrects someone that's at the same location. Alright, so that's spent. So that goes to the bottom of the deck, meaning you can cycle through it and get it again. And then prevents this hit. So no hits across the board. And these go back. Cool. That's another example of combat. Alright, so that's it for Umbra. Now it's Selam. She needs to try to get to Talor, which is right there. But it's also getting combat tastic. So I think with her, I may want to get some more battle cards, actually. So we're going to do that now. Yeah, I'll do it now. So I'll draw 2 more battle cards and place power token on top, so I can't do that ability again. And I get, so now I have 3. I have Aurora, Field, Divine Protection, and Divine Mail. So I got 2 small, I got 1 small buff, 1 I can prevent a hit, and 1 I can totally fuck up the entire battle in my favor. So that's fantastic. That's what I was hoping for. Good stuff. Alright, so now I did my power tokens, now I can move. So I'm going to move her here to complete that. But I'll keep her by herself because she's got some really good protection anyway. So, maybe I'll keep 1 with her, but I want to go offensive. So I'm going to try to see if I can't take out blue. Because if I take out blue, they won't have a staging ground over here. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go 3. Fuck it. The problem is if I did that, then he'll try to bring in all 3, but then I could play a card to try to stop them. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I want to risk it. I mean, I have a lot of battle cards, though. You know what? I'll do it. I'll risk it. All right. So now we're battle there. It's 3 versus 1. Actually, you know what? I don't have to do that. I'll tell you why. Because it's a team game. Everybody here has Nimble. That's on Anima. Meaning, I actually only have to bring in technically 2, because then I'll tell my teammate, hey, can you help me out? Which he may or may not do because he's using this to protect himself. But he'll be going right after green. But what I mean is, like, he could react to the battle and help out and do stuff there. So I'll say for purposes of this, maybe he'll help out with 1. So 3v1. Actually, you know what? He doesn't have to do that because, and I'll tell you why, strategically. Because if I did that and I was Cryo, I would purposely target this, that way they can't reinforce, and that way he'd be weaker here. Whereas if instead you come at you Nimble with the Avatar, then the player has to target these first, and there's no way he can do 3 hits with 1 creature, whereas I can come in and bring in some additional attack dice for free. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so it's going to be 1 and 2 pink, yellow and 2 pink versus 1 blue. Elemancer, you can re-roll offensively to try to get hits. So one hit, miss. So I'll definitely re-roll both of these because I have 2 Elemancers present. So 2 hits versus 1 hit. I can only kill 1 thing. He gets 1 hit. So he can't hit the Avatar because you target that last. So he's going to kill 1 of these, and then this one dies. So that's first casualties of the game. And then you just play some back on the creature cards because during the next round, it's another free space that you can resummon creatures from there as well, if you choose. And now, since blue was since the dark faction was completely removed from this location, this goes away. So mission accomplished there, and then this guy goes back. And now you see sort of the strategy of the area control in this game. The fact that not every clan will be at different stages of their lore deck. And already starting to see a different ratio of who has power tokens on the board and who can have presence in different areas. So you're starting to see the tediousness of the different strategies that develop. They don't necessarily see by just looking at the cards by themselves. Like, it's, how they're all weaved together that brings it to life. Okay, so who went last? That was Selim. the wrong one there. All right, so next up is Anima. I'm sorry, Necro. Necro is still trying to get to Abyss. So definitely gonna move there. And probably gonna put more pressure here if possible. And maybe just some more buffer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some more dudes. Get some warriors. And here you see an example of using the power tokens. I can't put 3 guys here because you can only have max 4. I don't want to put any guys here because it's too far away from all conflict. And I can't put 4 here because I have creature and avatar, so I already have 2 there. So I'm gonna split it. And I want to be offensive this way because I already have a lot of creatures over here. So I want to push this in this direction. So I think what I'll do is I'll put 1 here, and I'll put 2 here, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't so many more creatures for rest around, and if I move in just 1 creature here, I can initiate the battle here, because you can have 4 creatures here from the Dark faction. So that way I can initiate the battle, have a good buffer, and have this just be offensive moving up. Actually, you know what? I'll put 4 here. This way I can have 1 defender move up. Just be safe. Because if you have something undefended on the board, like here, someone can just rush in and take. With uncontested. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We've paid. We got the Falchion of Light. Okay, so we're moving to Abyss. So we're backing up here. And move 1. God, man, that music is so fucking good. God, I have to get that character. God, it's so good. What is it again? Leo and Luna. It's got like this Mega Man song. It's so good. And again, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Check it out. Good shit. Alright. Alright, so that comment's resolved. Alright, so... Oh yeah, we're still moving. Alright, so I want to keep the 1 here. And then I want to punch. I was thinking about punching the Avatar, but the fact it's an Avatar and he gets +1 to all of his creatures and he's got 3 there, he's a fucking wrecking ball. So I think instead I'm going to move here and just try to steal this from the Light faction. Which I should do because I can also hide. So that should be really easy to do. And you know what? I do want to put this one up here. Because if I do that, then I can have these 2, this guy defend and this guy punch. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Alright, so we'll have 2 combats, which we'll do in a sec. First we'll do... did I take any new locations? No. I took Abyss, so I complete that. So I advance to number 2. I complete Abyss, and now, and how you remember is look at the lore. You're like, okay, I need to match. And now I can look for a D2, which is Shadowlands. Which is very close. Actually, where we're battling right there is Shadowlands. So that's good. Alright. So I'll do the smaller battle first. You got 2 Fates versus a warrior. And that battle is heavy in the Fate and the Necros. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I just realized on the player board I misprinted. It should say Mortis, not Necro. One sec. Another reason I'm playing is to write down notes. You know, again, that polished feedback. The magic ability is Necro, but the clan is actually Mortis. Not that you would know that, but... Alright. Wow, that is a funny catch. Alright. sec. Just game testing, length, and game feedback. Oh, that's a funny miss. Yeah, that is supposed to be Mortis. The magic ability is Necro. Huh. Man, that is a funny miss. Wow. Alright. Anyway. Alright, so next we are going to do the small battle here. So we got 2 green and a yellow. We have 2 hits and 1 hit, but both of those fades can fade, which I know is dangerous because she can come out and blow them up. So I'm trying to think of what to do. But that would also force her to come there, as opposed to somewhere else that she's trying to go. So for sake of this, I'm gonna go ahead and hide both. Well, the problem is if you hide them, you don't count as controlling the location. So I'm trying to think of what to do. I think for sake of this, then I may not do it. Because I really want, it's like, I can take it, or I can not take it and get blown up potentially by Snahavian later. So I think in either case, I just need to take it. So it's gonna be, the trade's gonna be 1-to-1. But then this goes away. Okay, so that's that battle, and then the next battle is here. So that's 3 purple and a green, but for sake to participate, which doesn't matter, I'll do 2 purple and a green against 3 yellow. Alright. Yellow Anima has no battle cards, and Umbra didn't get any new ones, so I know can't use anything, so I just straight roll and creature traits. So we have 1 hit, 2 hits from Dark Faction, and 2 hits for Light Faction. So right now it's 2 and 2, but let's do abilities starting with the attacker. So the attacker can fade, which definitely gonna do. So that can't take any hits. And then can reduce 3 times. So 8's really high. The most you can reduce an 8 is to a 5. So even reducing it, ironically, is not going to help. It's like the enemy critted twice. So that's actually good rolls. But the enemy though can re-roll both of these because he has a warrior. So now it's just 1 hit. It's 1 hit versus 2 hits. And the hit can't be taken on the fade because she turned face up. So the 2 hits will be here, and then 1 hits on one of these. And some more example of combat and the strategy involved thereof. Cool, so that's it for that player. So now it's Anima's turn. Gorak is trying to get to Nemra. I feel like definitely need more dudes. And I don't think anyone from the Dark Faction has the ability to banish. So he's definitely going to go Lycans. But I like him! Unfortunately, because his thing got removed, looks like the only place he could summon is back here. And fuck, man, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, you had a power token taken away, so you couldn't summon from there, so you could only summon from the starting location. But because Nahavia moved here, he can only max summon 2 and not 3. Because there's already 2 things here. So even though I could summon 3, I actually can't. Because there's no more yellow. Because this one got taken. And this one's occupied by my ally. I was so worried about protecting that now I'm preventing deployment. So you see, so you see now the strategy with why you kind of have to work with your team, because you don't want to block your ally. So I can only summon 2. But that's not terrible. That just means I should really be offensive. That way when I resummon later, like next round, I can get more lichens for the cost of 1 power token. Okay, so deployed. He's trying to get the Nemra, but he doesn't have much protection, so definitely want to go offensive to try to push back. All of the Dark Faction avatars are ironically over here, so that means I can pull shenanigans over here safely because they can only move 3 spaces. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move here and move that there to protect. And then I need to get another fucking thing on the board, just so I have it. But it's dangerous because there's so many creatures fucking everywhere. I kind of want to take this one, just try to take this one just because if I'm here, I can get attacked by a horde of shit. Especially since blue will be going next and can deploy here, I can easily lose it.